Joining us today, we've got John Payne, the author of This Week in Grains and Oilseeds. And John, as we look at kind of what's been going on with markets this week, soybeans kind of back in the game here with a pretty solid rally on Thursday.
Yeah, it's been a nice change from where the market traded a week ago. You know, if we're talking last Friday, bulls are having conversations in the mirror in regards to what happened, between basically Christmas Day and the end of last week. We saw close to a 15% correction in wheat. Soybeans backed off a little amount there at the beginning, but as the weather markets kind of set in here, I think the new year combined with the optimism around reopening has the markets in a very, very good mood going back to Tuesday morning. So the question really here is, what do you do about it? If you take a shot and sell some soybeans here, I think that's where the folks who are calling me are wondering.
You know, a lot of times we talk about South American weather, and obviously there's been a little bit of dryness, but they've also gotten some rains. Do we know enough yet of what those crops are going to look like?
In soybeans, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Within a 5 million metric ton range either way. I don't know how they count these crops regardless. I think there's a science that I'm not aware of how we can accumulate billions of bushels and be able to master the accounting of it. But that aside, I think you have to be careful on soybeans here. Because a lot of the negativity, in my opinion, is priced in. I think that you've seen the reductions pretty sharply, really going back to the middle part of 2 weeks ago, kind of pre-WASDE, I guess. And, in the case of the markets, we've seen a good amount of price action. So from where I sit right now, I think the market you have to take a shot here on beans, given that I think that Argentina has some rain. In the second crop corn markets, we're seeing some rain. So, when you look at these 22 here for corn and Nove 22 for soybeans, these are contract highs. And, we pop through these levels, then the vol rushes on. And those with physical supply, I think, are going to be in the best shape here. So, again, I like holding the physical. I think the basis is going to be strong. But the flat price futures here in soybeans, we're at a level where I think it's worth giving it a shot if you are going to look to sell.
All right, good stuff, John. Sure appreciate you being here and joining us on Ag Day. We'll be right back with more coming up in just a minute.
To find John's newsletter, This Week in Grain and Oilseeds, head over to www.thisweekingrain.com.